All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Sprint 50 for YakShaver, an auspicious number. Let's get into it. We have the team. The goal was to complete end-to-end testing. We didn't quite get there because we discovered an extra PBI that we would need to do that had some progress. I'll show you as we get there. This is for multi-tenancy. The team working on this is here. We also had, it's not shown here because he probably put his time against design, but Ken did a little bit of work as well. And Josh did also. Josh, your time should be here, man. Maybe update that. So let's get into the actual PBIs we worked on. All right, adding ordering functionality to the docs. So if I show you the website, the docs at the moment, this was just in order of like when it was put up, but we wanted to be able to have the important ones at the top. So we have that ordering functionality. We've created another PBI for Lewis to actually go through and put the top ones at the top now, but that's ability now in the back end.
Just on that page, Yuli, can we just make sure links have at least a dotted line under them? So if the read more is the link or the FAQ word is the link, let's make it more
in this case, the whole box is the link.
The whole box is the link. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think as you hover over it, that read more should become red or something that indicates, okay, that's going to be what happens when you click.
There's two things that happen with that. When you hover over it, your cursor goes to a pointer cursor and the border becomes visible.
Yeah,
that's the indication from the designers.
Yeah, but I'd like the word read more to go red as well. So it's obvious what's going to happen next. It's going to go to the read more link.
Do you want me to quickly shave that?
Sure.
Okay, give me a sec. Right, we've got an update for YakShaver. On the yakshaver.ai page under the doc section where I am now, when you mouse over one of these clickable sections, although it shows that it's clickable, it's not super clear straight away that what's going to happen is you're going to read more. So let's get the read more text to also either go red or add an underline or something like that. Play around with it, see what looks good, but make it very, very clear that when you click, what's going to happen is you're going to read more. Thank you. Cool. All right. Next PBI. There was a small typo that's fixed. So we now can pull in project lists because most people won't have dynamics with their list of projects. We can pull in projects from GitHub and Azure DevOps. So it'll look at the repositories and the projects there and pull them in. And then you just add extra metadata you need to do there. So that is done. And you can now have more than one GitHub account as well to do that with. Hajir has been onboarded. He's on public holiday in Victoria today, so he's not here today. All right, this is a bit of a big one. So we are going to add to the website the ability to try it now. So instead of book a demo, the call to action will be try it now, and you'll be able to record a screen share and create a PBI immediately. We had a spike on that to investigate what would need to be done. We've created an epic, which is this one here. And these are the 19 PBIs that have been added to that epic. So Adam, when you asked me before if this was a good sprint or not, this is the thing that makes me nervous. There's quite a lot involved in the try it now. So we've investigated that and we've added about half of these probably into the next sprint because there's a lot of them are quite small. But yeah, that's where we're at for the moment with that.
So
any questions
on
that
try it now is an epic, is it?
This was a spike, but we have a try it now epic as well
Right.
Yeah. All right. Small thing, and there was a plus where there didn't need to be a plus. The client portal, so we just said that you can import projects from Azure DevOps or GitHub. You can also do it from a CSV. So if you have some other system that has your list of projects, you can just export and import. We have an API for the total number of shaves so that the website here can be accurate. This number of yak shaved will now be a real number.
Wow. That's phenomenal. Who thought of that idea?
I think it was Louis originally or Josh. It was, yeah. So it's cool.
Beautiful.
So that number is not accurate at the moment. That'll be replaced with the accurate number.
Right.
Sorry, where are we at? Multi-tenancy support for GitHub. So we talked about that before, pulling in the projects from GitHub and syncing those projects. If you uninstall GitHub, we had to be able to handle that for multi-tenancy, so that's done. It was bugging out before when you did it.
Uninstall GitHub. What do you mean?
So if you you know how you can authenticate with GitHub and allow it access to a repository, and you sort of install it into your GitHub repository. If you undo that, we had to be able to handle that situation.
Right. Okay.
We had a bunch of 404 errors. We haven't really fixed them as such. We've just identified that they're not really a big problem, so we're ignoring them. The 500 errors are the big problems, and they're not happening. We've decided not to use Google Analytics. We're using Plausible instead. So we've decided that that's what we won't do. Tom or someone, remind me what this one was about. I guess Lewis, if you did it.
Yeah, so this was an error reported by Ben that his PBI or his email got created as a PBI, but I wasn't able to recreate it. So something must have changed between when it was reported and now that the AI could detect that it was supposed to be an email.
I guess I should bring up one thing. The guys created that functionality I was talking about before to import all the projects and repositories from GitHub and Azure DevOps as projects into your projects list.
Yes.
We implemented that for SSW as well, which was a mistake because we've already got our projects list from Dynamics. So we're going to undo that because at the moment there's a bunch of noise. There's all sorts of repositories that we don't want to be able to shave to.
All right. So Yuli, can you say that all again? I didn't keep up.
Yeah, sorry, it is a bit complicated. So do you get the idea that if you don't have a list of projects, you can just hook up to your GitHub and say, give me all the repositories and all the projects that we have in GitHub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you probably wouldn't want that. You'd probably want some method of starring them.
Selecting which ones you want. Yeah. So for us, we ended up importing all of them. And that was a mistake because we didn't want any of them because we already had our own like curated list. So we're going to undo that for ourselves, which means we won't be using that functionality. Clients will, because they won't have a nice curated list of projects.
I don't think clients would want that either. They would want to tag these certain repos they want in there.
Yes, no. So you can see your list of all the repos that you want, and you go, yes, I want that one, that one, that one, not that one.
Okay.
But we had imported all of them, which is bad. We've got ZZZ stuff and all sorts of things. Okay. So we're going to nuke the whole list and re-import from Dynamics for SSW. But what I'm calling out is that functionality we're not going to be dogfooding because we have our own curated list and clients won't. So we'll have to test it carefully and make sure that the client experience is good because we won't feel the pain if it's not because we're not using that.
Okay.
Yeah. This not a big deal. That was an issue that's been solved. So apparently someone was unable to uninstall the YakShaver Teams app. That has been tested by 2 different people and unable to reproduce, so that seems to be okay. This is the bento box component, which is what we just showed here. This new section here, which I like. It's very cute. It's got all the stuff in.
The whole screen that I'm looking at is bento box.
This section here with all the different kind of little areas that looks like a little Japanese bento box. That's what that area is called. So there is going to be an updated UX to the website shortly anyway, but this will still be a part of it.
Right.
So more things that Josh had done to that homepage to get SEO customization. Plausible has been implemented, so that's instead of Google Analytics, it's the preferred tracking system by the marketers. So they prefer Plausible to Google Analytics.
Can we include a screenshot of those stats coming from Plausible in each sprint review?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Rick,
Yes,
can you take note of that?
Yeah,
From
sure.
the email.
Yeah, I'll put that in the email.
Okay, cool. We've talked about the syncing projects. So it works from Azure DevOps as well as GitHub. This is a small UX thing. just in the portal, there weren't that many options, but it was collapsed, which didn't make sense because there's not an overflow of stuff anyway. That was again syncing from the projects, and this one we've decided not to do, which is okay. All right, so let me talk about this. When we tried to do end-to-end testing, we found that it was very slow. So we thought about putting like some kind of loading feedback to say, hey, it's happening, just wait, hold tight and we'll have it ready. But instead, Rick and the others decided they're going to use something called an elastic pool of pre-created databases that we'll be able to serve up to people instantly rather than having it get created on the spot. There is a cost associated with that, but it seems reasonable and it massively improves the onboarding experience for someone. So
Right.
I'll go to the email. Any questions on the PBI so far?
Yes, I'll have a few.
Yeah.
Josh, would you be able to go back to all the ones that are to do with the website and prefix them with website dash, so it's very clear that they're all to do with the website, including plausible stats and other things like that?
Okay. Or all my future ones I've done with the lipstick and then YakShaver.ai. Do you want me to change that to website?
I
Because
think
lipstick's
so,
what we use for the
because
UI.
we are about to ask you to change YakShaver.ai to YakShaver.com because we just purchased it.
All right.
And that would be good if you could throw that there as well.
Yeah, I can do that.
One other thing, Yuli, I didn't see anything here to do with Octopus, which caused a lot of dramas last sprint. And I'm wondering what happened there. And is there any outstanding items there?
Yeah, so the large number of dones here is partially because most of them were done last sprint and we couldn't deploy. Well, not most, but a lot of them. So we got a bunch of quick wins at the beginning of the sprint just from the fact that we were able to deploy the stuff once Octopus was fixed up.
Right.
Have we had any other Octopus pain this sprint, guys?
No, it's been all good.
Cool. All right. So on the YakShaver.com front, do you want me to quickly shave a PBI to change from YakShaver.ai to YakShaver.com?
Yeah. Now there will be places that we still want YakShaver.ai. That might be on t-shirts and things, but I think broadly everybody will see YakShaver.com. So you can go to the website and show that.
Cool. Give me 2 seconds. All right, now shave this now. I've got a new task for the YakShaver team. On this website here, YakShaver.ai, I would like this changed to YakShaver.com. We have already purchased the domain, so I just need, basically, if anyone goes to YakShaver.ai, it should redirect to YakShaver.com. The default should be YakShaver.com, so anything you need to do with SEO or sublinks or whatever, try and make YakShaver.com the default, and a redirect from YakShaver.ai to that. Cool, done. All right. So moving on down the email, code coverage as usual has dropped a little bit because it does every week almost. So we need to keep an eye on that. We had 2 deployments. A lot of errors, but they're pretty much all 404s, I think. No big spikes. It's just, crawlers and whatnot. I know I say this every week, but I do worry about this. Like, this looks, signal to noise ratio is not good here. So if we have big problems, we don't know about it. Leaderboard's interesting. Levi's up higher than usual, as is Caleb.
Yeah, can I just ask about that? There are a couple of ones on the backlog about selecting timeframes and having an extra column there for the projects. I know this, we're focusing on NDC. Is it desirable for you, Yuli, to get, selecting, like, rather than looking at every 30 days, I could switch that to every 60 days or 90 days?
Yeah, no, I like all the ideas, the changes we've suggested for the leaderboard, but I'm nervous that we might not have Try It Now ready by NDC. So I don't, like, I'm happy to do that very much last,
Okay. Do you want, okay. All right. No worries. Could we extend this to top 20 then? Because that might be a quick, easy one.
I mean, yeah, like we can do lots of things, but I'm happy to do all of them once we have, like, if we get to NDC and we're, you know, one PBI off getting Try It Now working, I'll be very frustrated.
Yeah, of course. I totally get it.
So I really don't want to take the focus off that for anything.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but add on that, if you just extend to 20 to the leaderboard to 20 people, it should be easy, less than 1 point. I could do like in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that would be handy if you just put at least top 20, so I have a tiny bit more
Right.
visibility.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay, so we have good progress in this PBI. This only has 2. This epic. So getting ready should be renamed to multi-tenancy, I suppose. But we're only 2 PBIs from it now, and they're both in this current sprint. So I'm it's looking good. We've made this new epic for Try It Now, and about half of that, or a little bit less than half of that, is in the new sprint as well. So we should get some good progress there. Retrospective general comments were, it was good to get some more website love and some design love. Ken did some stuff for us. I was worried about the fact that all the importing project stuff had kind of messed up our projects table, so we'll need to fix that up. And Tom's a bit worried that we're not going to have Try It Now ready in time for NDC, which is a big worry, which is why I'm being strict about.
Not worry, but I'm a little bit on edge. Like we need to focus primarily on that if you want it to be ready.
Yeah, you're right.
How does Try It Now work?
It doesn't work yet, but it will be that
Yeah,
when
how
you
will
go
it
to the
work,
website,
sorry?
instead of book a demo, you click Try It Now. Inside the browser, it just says, I need access to your camera and screen and microphone. You say yes. It records you. You make, a bug or a PBI or whatever, and it creates that PBI in a public repo, which then it gets emailed to you.
Right, cool. So in order to do that, we sort of need to get rid of any dependency on Teams, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna be mocking up the Teams interface and delivering it in the browser, but the stuff that normally would come through Teams.
So is this going to be a browser add-in extension?
No, because it'll only work on the actual website. So it's not something that'll work on any website. It'll just be a web app.
But the plan is to look at browser extensions maybe down the track, because that might be basically getting the dependency of Teams, and then people can just add their browser Chrome extension and start recording everywhere.
So I'm just thinking of the expectations that are set. I know nothing about YakShaver. I press Try It Now. It wants stuff from the browser. It does stuff in the browser, and then it shows me the PBI. When I go to use it, I learn, oh, it doesn't work in the browser. I need Teams. I'm sure this can be managed, but it's an unusual way to demo it very differently from what it is.
Well, remember, you don't need Teams to record. You can use Snagit or Windows Snipping Tool or Snapshot or whatever.
Okay.
Like
So
I never use Teams. However, it communicates to me through Teams.
But you can't use the browser, right?
Can't use the browser. What do you mean?
So what do
To use YakShaver normally.
You're telling
No,
people
there's no browser. No, there isn't.
you can do things lots of different ways. You can use Snagit or Snipping Tools or Teams, but not the way you just learned how to do it. You just use the browser.
Yes, correct. But I mean, all you're going to be, when it shows you all the feedback that it shows you, it'll look like a Teams window. So that's something that will get you used to the fact that it's going to be talking to you through Teams.
Oh, so you're going to put like just a shell of Teams around it, just as an image to make it feel like you're in Teams.
Yeah,
There's
it'll kind
gonna
of
be
pop up
Teams
like
UI.
this.
That is unusual. Okay. I'm very nervous about doing it this way, but that's all right.
Well, this was the least friction way to get them to be able to try it.
Yeah, but I do think that you probably should do this as a browser extension, and you're letting them test the browser extension. And the browser extension can be on demo mode, or you pay to get it off demo mode. And so what we deliver is the same thing they actually use. So all you need is a browser extension that only works in demo mode for now.
I don't know, Tom and Rick, you guys want to think about that later?
Well, yeah, we can have a look what's involved to write a custom extension, but that throws
I can
the
tell you to
biggest
speak
spanner.
to Hajir. He's done multiple browser extensions. So he might be a very good person to help. But it's just weird to demo it in a way that you wouldn't really use it. Yeah, I think that would cause unnecessary conversations.
Having said that, it doesn't matter because once they've purchased it, we'll guide them to show them how they use it, right? Like it will still, you just want to convince them to purchase it or to set up the free trial or whatever. That's the aim. And then the output that we want is that they do that, and then we can guide them through how to use it properly after that point. So
Okay.
it might be a small piece of friction, but it's a piece of friction that happens after the purchase decision. So it's less of a worry. Yeah, my thought was we want the absolute minimum friction between what's this? Oh, that's what it is. Rather than what's this? Oh, hang on, now I have to install a Teams app or something. You know, we're trying to make it very, very low friction.
All right. Anyone else have any comments on this?
I think I agree with Yuli here.
So I'm happy to have it as a browser extension as well, so long as it's low friction. I don't know exactly what the UX of that is.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm also, by the way, one of the things I originally asked for was a browser extension, but then the problem was you can't, for instance, YakShave a Windows app if it's a browser extension.
That's true. But yeah, it's very clear a browser extension is useful for feedback on a website.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let me quickly take you through this next sprint. I mean, high end, these are to do with getting the multi-tenancy working and to the point that we can test it and actually testing it as well. So that's the sprint goal, is to get this multi-tenancy tested so we can actually spin up a new tenant, run it, test it, give feedback. I'm sure that will create more PBIs, but that's this part of the sprint. And then this part of the sprint is a mixture of website changes and the first half of the Try It Now epic. I know that's quite high level, but that's probably the information you need. Are you happy with that?
So the big focus is the Try It Now functionality.
Well, the big focus is finishing, like, yes, it's getting Try It Now started, but it's finishing multi-tenancy first, which should be within the first half of the week, although I'm assuming that there'll be more PBIs that will pop up that we discover once we actually test it.
Okay, all right.
But this will mean people can set up themselves with a free trial at that point.
Right. Okay.
So I guess importantly, it's important to note that payment is not sorted yet. That is going to need to be done, like actually hooked up to the website so that when they purchase it, they can, you know, have money come in and deal with all the situations around that, like how to cancel, when to cancel, what to block access to, etc. So that will come later. Our plan is to do that after we finish Try It Now to make sure that NDC is as good as possible. Cool. All right, well, that's our plan. So guys, this video will be up on this website here, the YouTube channel here in our playlist for YakShaver sprint summaries. So guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. See you.
Yeah. All right, so